Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, I'm all adjusted. I literally had to get done with my day. I was hungry. I ate dinner. And it's time to study. I'm Kesha, and I am live on 5 platforms right now. Right now. And it's exciting. I want to thank Restream for partnering with me. You're awesome, Restream, because I am broadcasting live right now to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, and Twitter. On Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch, I'm live at my moniker, which is my forum for me to go live on from those platforms, called CyberSMAC. From Facebook and LinkedIn, I am live from my name, Kesha. All right. And I want to say hello. Hi. How you doing? Hey. Hi. How you doing? We are live, about to study. I went to sleep yesterday. I was exhausted. I do. I have a very rigorous schedule. And I work out. I didn't work out today, so maybe that's where my schedule went a little different because today I actually missed my workout. But that's okay. You have to adjust according to yourself. And I don't have to tell you my whole schedule, my whole rundown, but it's the same as everybody else. Workout, prep for food, prep the house for cleanliness, prep yourself, of course, work and internet, computer, social media, marketing, advertising, live streaming. I know everybody does this, right? And also go over the knick-knack stuff that I have to follow through on. Just life itself. And I just got overwhelmed. And there's going to be days like that. So I'm hoping that the days that me and you aren't studying together, that you can just take some time and read and or go over questions. I've always found Kahoots is a great place to go. Other people recommend other places, and that's cool. I don't really prefer, I gotta put this on one ear because it gets all muffled when I have two ears, but on both ears. I know, just so particular. Okay, much better. I changed my lighting. You can see my beautiful skin complexion. My beautiful skin. Anyway, I'm so glad I got the lighting together because prior to me being able to understand how to light for myself for my live streams, I could not see out. I know, isn't that something? So that's why it was such an emergency for me to figure out my lighting because it was I who was blind. You probably could see everything, and I could see hardly anything. So it was really good that I got my lighting together. So I'm Kesha, and I want to thank you for coming on here so we can study together. I usually do like a 10-minute spiel on who I am and why I'm live streaming and where I'm live streaming from and where I got the idea of my moniker, which is CyberSMAC. CyberSMAC is something that I made up. It's my creativity. I took cybersecurity and mixed it with the SMAC model. And the SMAC model came out in the early 2000s. And it was emphasized that it was a tool that businesses should and could embrace to help them maintain and increase business. It was considered the edge. The SMAC model is an acronym for social media, mobile, analytics, and cloud. Fast forward to today, they were right. It was a tool that was used as the edge for businesses to maintain and increase business. And when I did I'm going to say something here. When I did my dissertation proposal, I included the SMAC model. I never completed my PhD. I never completed my that particular PhD study, research study. I never particularly completed that one. I did, however, move forward in metaphysics, but that's a whole nother story. We don't have to go there tonight. I'm telling too much. Anyway, I just fell in love with the SMAC model. I felt like I knew it was an awesome platform. It was very similar to what everyone else had heard about STEM and STEAM. STEAM being science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And STEAM and STEM being without art, was mainly an HR and a educational track for people to educate themselves and to join the workforce through the track of STEM and STEAM. And there's no if or this or this or that. STEAM, STEM, and SMAC all kind of go together. It's just that SMAC is purposefully promoted as tools for businesses to increase and maintain a level of business, and also business tools. They're used as business tools: social media, mobile, analytics, and cloud. And I included cybersecurity into that because nowadays, with all the hacks going on, with all of the attacks and the breaches and the vulnerabilities and everything that's going on, the whole reason why I feel so compelled to be a part of cybersecurity is because I feel like cybersecurity is also a tool that a business can use to increase their business, to maintain their business. We can add a layer of protect their business, but it is a tool to be used by business, the same as social media, mobile, analytics, and cloud. And analytics, of course, is data. And mobile, we're talking about mobile devices, IoT devices, not just cell phones. Don't be like me in my limited way of thinking. We can embrace it all under mobile, and of course, social media. I completely embrace social media into my technology, website development, website management, website coding, website branding, brand management. And we're talking about social media, whether you're using brand awareness or if you are having one of the blue checks, or you are an influencer, or you have a small pond and you're a big fish in your social media. I know that there's people out there who are meme lords, I know that there are people who are inspirational princesses. And so I have my certificate in cybersecurity, and I have my certificate in social media. And I do feel like I have very good knowledge, having having been certified in both of those items, I use them both and I like them both. And I decided to mix them. And so you are listening to me and following me, hopefully, and subscribing to me and liking me from my moniker, which is CyberSMAC on Twitch, CyberSMAC at YouTube, CyberSMAC on Twitter. I'm also CyberSMAC on Instagram and on pretty much every social media forum that you can have an account. I am CyberSMAC on that forum. I pretty much all across the board. I just opened up CyberSMAC across the board on everything. And if it's not open and you go in and you search for it, just leave it alone. I'm probably on my way to open it up. So just leave it alone. Okay, but anyway, here nor there. Here nor there. We're here to, I had this page up because we have been studying from the CompTIA's exam objective page that's telling us exactly how to pass this exam. And I'm referring to the A+ because, yes, I do have my certification in cybersecurity. I do believe that there are some holes in my knowledge. I kind of want to be very careful when I say that. It has nothing to do with my schooling. I should not say that I have holes in my knowledge. I should not say that. I don't have holes in my knowledge. I have a very good educational background. I went to one of the best schools, the best engineering schools, and it was postgraduate. I already have degrees, and I still went back and went to one of the best, University of Central Florida. And then they partnered with the best hacker program workshop type of program that is around at this time, which is Hacker USA, and who is now ThriveDX. And so I want to apologize. I do not want to stand by and continue to say that I have holes in my knowledge. And that's why I'm going for A+, because actually, I just want to say, because I've heard myself say that a few times, and that's not absolutely the case. It's just that I'm just going to start at 1 for the certification. I would like for some people to study with me and have these videos as a way to allow people to go from learning A+, gaining that A+ certification, me gaining my A+ certification, and then moving forward. I do also study for Network Plus, and I also study for Security Plus. And those are private, professor-led study groups. And so this is a public forum where I am facilitating A+, okay? And so I just want to just say that because I heard myself talking and saying things, and I need to correct my own self, okay, when I talk. Anyway, I pulled up let's see here. Yeah, so I don't want to go around saying I have holes in my knowledge. That is absolutely not true. There are no holes in my knowledge. You know how you have that negative self-talk and you have to go, whoa. Back it up now. Back it up, negative self-talk. Back it up. Disappear. Dissipate. Basically, that's what that was. You just saw it live, and I corrected it live. Okay. Anyway, we are now going to finish. Okay, let's start at the top. Because this is the CompTIA A+ Certification Exam Core 1 Objectives. This is for this exam. There are 2 exams to this test. Okay? And we're studying for one part of it right now. Okay? And I try to just do a little bit at a time because I do believe that you get more accomplished when you have a steady flow. And I do feel like there is, where's my educational? I should really not, I should really try to eat dinner after I go live. Because I go live and, oh, here it is. Thank God. I have this. I think it's really important of how people, how they study. And we are studying what they call, we are studying for, what does it say here? We're committing knowledge to long-term memory. Okay? And so that's why I think it's good to go, not slow, but go correct. I don't think it's good to go fast, especially not for me, okay? And so I am starting off with A+, even though I study A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus all at the same time. Now, what I do see between the three of these exams is what we're studying now. We're going to go a little bit down. It tells you a little bit about what's on the exam. And again, you can get this from the CompTIA A+ website. And if you are smart enough to be studying for this exam and be interested in it, I know you know how to look up to get to the CompTIA. If you need to know exactly where it is and somehow you stumble across it, feel free to direct message me. Feel free to reach out to me, and I will be more than happy to help you get this. So, networking is part of all three of the examinations. Networking is vital on networking examination. Networking is included in Security Plus examination. And here it is again, or I should say, because this is the foundational test, here it is on A+. And that's the part that we're going over right now. There's three parts to me that are super important, which is hardware, networking, and hardware and network troubleshooting. And those are the three that I'm going to emphasize on. I'm going to spend probably about 1/10 of the time on mobile devices and virtualization and cloud computing. I'm going to spend probably more time, double the time that I spend on mobile devices on virtualization and cloud computing, because who doesn't know? We all know about mobile devices. So that should be the easiest to me of the breakdown of this examination for me to pass. But what I was trying to say is we're going to go the right way, which is we're going to commit to long-term memory. Okay? And so now we've gone 20 minutes just about into our study session. And where we have been going is, okay, this is mobile devices. We're going to skip this now, but let's just take a look at what's here. Hardware. I mean, the install, configure, in different scenarios is going to be super important to understand on mobile devices, but yeah. Given a scenario, install components within a display of a laptop. Okay, yep. Given a scenario, use appropriate laptop features. All of these things, yeah, right? So as you can see, mobile devices we're not going to need to spend as much time on the other items. And then they have a compare contrast for characteristics of various types of other mobile devices that we can talk about. We're not going to do this today, but we're just going over it. Given a scenario, connect and configure accessories and ports of mobile devices. So here's some other stuff: wired, wireless, and we have accessories. A lot of us live and breathe this every day just to even be on. I mean, I'm on Discord. I already know, there's people, you guys, we already know these things. So we are going to go over them, but I don't think that it's so important as network and troubleshooting. I think because network is Security Plus and Network Plus, it's so much more important. Okay. So anyway, we're just going through this a little bit more. So here's network. Ports and protocol, we can go through that next. Okay. A lot of memorization and just looking up, seeing what's important. Where I have been focusing my time for the last couple of lives I've been going from the last of on, or when I'm looking at right here, 2.2. Uh-oh. I'm looking at here, compare and contrast network devices. And the last live, we went over routers, switches, we went over access points, we went over network interface cards, repeaters and hubs, and bridges. And I would say we skipped over cloud-based network controller. We didn't really focus on that. We didn't really focus, and we probably need to go a little deeper on managed and unmanaged switches. And we need to go deeper on cable, DSL, modems. We did talk about modems, but knowing the difference between cable and DSL modems, it's super important. But what we are going to focus on today is firewalls. So the other live, we did EOP and PoE, which is this. And then we also went over patch panel. And I think I'm going to do a recap when we finish doing all of these and do like a 1-day recap of it all, because I feel like these are super important. Compare and contrasting these common networking hardware devices. And it's so funny that it's under networking, but it is the hardware. And so I just want to look real quick here to see what exactly is under hardware if we're looking at hardware up there. Network cables, some of this stuff we've already gone over. Because of the hardware and networking, it just goes right along with it. And so a lot of these, we have not gone deep into them, but a lot of these we have talked about. We talked about connectors. We even talked about who developed these connectors. We talked about Alexander Graham Bell. His laboratory, he had a laboratory, and engineers basically developing connectors. We talked about a lot of stuff. We go all the way back to who made this stuff. It was made in Bell Laboratories. Anyway, and yesterday we talked about Xerox Laboratories made Ethernet, and it derived from I forgot his name already, but this guy's PhD. So this stuff can take you pretty far. You can make something that the world uses for the rest of all of our lives. Okay, so let's just go back. I'm just like literally ready to fall right into firewall. And usually I'm going to do just like what I usually do, is do a highlight and do a search. And I'm going to switch up the way that it is screen sharing, because basically I want you to follow along with what I'm doing. Is this where I want to be? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so right now I am looking for a dog pal. Okay. Just ignore my search string. It could be creepy, I don't know. Okay, we're going to look up firewalls and dog pal. It's interesting. I don't know if we should look up firewall security, but we're just going to look up firewalls right now. And I'm sure there's a whole lot. But anyway, this is where we first start our looking at this very, okay, that's a very nice picture. You guys know how I get distracted by pictures. Here's something. Now, Cisco makes firewalls. So the big question that we're trying to figure out now is, we all know what a firewall is. So I'm not gonna say, but we are questioning from this examination, what do they want us to know? What is a firewall all about? So let's go to some of the people who make the freaking firewalls, okay? Let's go to Wikipedia. What does Wikipedia have to say that's different than these two guys? Let's see what anything else. I think Checkpoint is great. We can see how much they cost. Amazon, in case we're going to buy something. Introduction of firewall. That might be actually really good. I have a feeling this firewall stuff is going to be a long thing, but we're going to try to look at these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 websites, okay? Because okay, because firewalls are super important to cybersecurity, right? Okay, so the first one we're going to go to is Cisco. What is a firewall? Let me just look at this website real quick because we just want to make sure that we don't need to go somewhere else within here. So Cisco Secure Firewall. Okay. They want to know use of cookies. That's cool. Okay, wait, I need to switch that over and down. Okay, great. They have different types of firewalls that we can go over. Wonderful. Already on our website, it's great for us. And Amazon is going to show us some firewalls here, okay, that we can purchase today. Wow. Okay. That will be for a home. If we wanted to purchase some firewalls, I mean, you could probably get this one for a home, but these others are probably for office. Let's see here. We're just looking to see what they look like, and they look different. So sometimes, is this right here? What is this? Is this a firewall? Ah, it's a bit defender. It's most user friendly. That's interesting. Aha. So here's one that's something, I don't know. We're going to look at this one up. See what's going on. I'm just super interested. We just go where our interest goes. First, I look at pictures, then we read the words. And if our interests take us somewhere, I try not to go too far. I swear. I do get very interested in this equipment, but I try not to go too far or too deep on the first. This isn't my first go around, but our first go around. I try not to go far too deep. Anyway, here are some more firewalls. This is a very neat looking firewall. I don't know why it has all these things. It looks like that's for wires or something. And so we want to look at that one and look at this firewall. Now this looks like something that you go in these fancy offices, these .com startup entrepreneur places, and they all got these those things right there. Okay. I just want to see something go. Oops. Out of here. Just ignore my personal stuff. All my personal identifiable information, just ignore it. You can't log in under that stuff. So anyway. Okay, here it is. Okay, here is one of the best pictures right now that we need. Okay, got it. Here's one of the best pictures that we need right now just for the beginning knowledge. Look at this firewall. It's actually like a wall. It stops stuff and separates things. And it says here, a firewall, and this is the Greeks for, I just got all twisted around. I did, and it's okay. I do this because I get a little excited. Yeah, we'll go back to the picture. Anyway, a firewall is a network security device. Okay. It's either hardware or software based. So we just saw a lot of hardware, a lot of equipment, but they're telling me right now that it doesn't even have to be something tangible that I can touch. It can be software based, which monitors all incoming and outgoing traffic and based on a defined set of security rules. It accepts, rejects, or drops that specific traffic. Accept, of course, meaning allow the traffic, you can come on through. Reject, saying no way, blocking the traffic, but replies with an unreachable error. Okay. I'm not sure if this is for a particular one or if they all reply with that. That's a good question to ask. Right now, we have no one to ask it to, so we're just going to move forward. I'm learning this as you're learning this. I mean, I do know about firewalls, but we're just going to continue on We're just going to learn, learn, and learn until we pass these tests. Drop blocks the traffic with no reply. Okay, so drop it. I'm not saying nothing to you. You've been ghosted. And reject, you have a reject. Here's the reason, unreachable error, whether that reason is a legit reason or not. That's what we're telling you. And that's what this firewall does, whether it's a real tangible firewall that you can touch and it's placed somewhere in its equipment. You can buy off of Amazon or from whoever else that sells this equipment of a firewall, or it's some type of software. I'm just guessing, kind of probably cloud-based software. Okay. And so here we have LAN and WAN. And I believe that LAN is standing for the local area network. Okay. And honest with you, let's just look up this stuff because I just don't want to get this stuff wrong. And I don't think that I have it wrong, but what if I do? I just don't want to be like, of course, that one. That was unexpected. Okay. Yep. Local area network. And then a WAN is wide area network. Okay. And so this firewall is separating these two places, the local and the wide. Okay. And we want to keep stuff local, and stuff in the wide area, which can be anywhere. We want to keep that over there, and we want to only bring in secure stuff into our local area, into our VIP area. And we want to only keep it safe and secure. And we want everything that's behind our firewall to be safe and secure also. That's the way I'm thinking about it. So now here's the history and the need for a firewall. Let's just see how much reading we have to do. Oh, interesting. Very good. And it references inside Wikipedia, and it references Cisco, and it references NPTEL. So 2 out of the 3 references that they were using here, we are using. So that's really good. We haven't got to them yet, but we're on those 2. Let's go back up here. These are little study sessions, and I'm just happy to have people studying with me. So thank you very much. Okay, so before firewalls, there's actually a before firewall. Get out of here. Okay, before firewalls, network security was performed by an access control list, or ACL, which resides on the router. That's interesting. I did not know that. Okay. ACLs are rules that determine whether network access should be granted or denied to specific IP addresses. Okay. Access control list is pre-firewall, or acts like the firewall on a router. But ACLs cannot determine the nature of the packet it is blocking. Also, ACL alone does not have the capacity to keep threats out of the network. Hence, the firewall was introduced. So we see that there are some problems. There's the opportunity to make something, and it was made. And I wonder who was the first person to make a firewall. I wonder who was, and whose laboratory. That's what I want to know. Whose laboratory was racing to invent the first firewall, and who saw that ACLs were not doing enough and that we needed a firewall. Whose laboratory did that? Anyway, we'll figure that out soon. Connectivity to the internet is no longer optional for organizations. Of course. Yeah, I remember back in the day, like if you even thought about going to the internet from a job, or even thought about looking at your cell phone to look something up, as if your cell phone was a tool, you were just about burnt up by their gaze. It was kind of, yeah. Anyway, I won't even talk about that. I think that little small story aged me. But anyway, yeah. So connectivity to the internet is no longer optional for organizations. Thus, I'm just going to throw in there SMAC model, being a tool for companies, just throwing it out there. However, accessing the internet provides benefits to the organization. It also enables the outside world to interact with the internal network of the organization. This creates a threat to the organization. In order to secure the internal network from unauthorized traffic, we need a firewall. This sentence right here is a little harsh, though, I think. I think in some way they could have softened that one up by saying, yes, we allow people to come in because they purchase items from businesses, they interact with businesses, they need to use credit cards, and this opens people up to identity theft and other type of threats. But anyway, that's the sentence they wanted to go with, so we're going with it. How firewall works. Firewall match the network traffic against the rule set defined in its table. Okay, so it's going by a table. The table is telling it how to match the network traffic against the rules set in the table. Once the rule is matched, associate action is applied to the network traffic. You know, when I was in school, I used to say these if, then, this. And if I could remember anything, firewalls is if, then, this. If this, then this. It's a rule. It's a rule-based thing. For example, rules are defined as any employee from HR department cannot access the data from code server. And at the same time, another rule is defined like system administrator can access the data from both HR and technical department. Rules can be defined on the firewall based on the necessity and security policies of the organization. And there's a small framework, I would say moniker, that goes along with that statement. Here it is. This statement here, rules can be defined on the firewall based on the necessity and security policies of the organization. I would say if you've ever heard the moniker zero trust or least privileges, and I forgot what's prior. But anyway, the order of least privileges saying if you don't need to be there, if they don't need to have access, they should not have access. And we will not give everyone trust. We trust that the HR people only need to know HR information in their HR server part and not everything that all the administrators have and have access to. We just don't need to give trust to everyone, which is a little different than some places that do trust but verify. We're not trusting. We will verify and we will set up a rule so we don't even have to worry about it and talk to you about it. And if you're in some place that you're not supposed to be, that is a breach of our firewall. Okay. Sorry for that segue. Anyway, that's just what I was thinking. From the perspective of a server, network traffic can be either outgoing or incoming. Of course, we just talked about how I'm outside the internet. I want to go into a company using their server to buy something, and I have to use their credit card and sign up as a customer. So I enter into their server. And if I'm at work, I have to do like a customer management system. So I'm in a server from an internal point of view. So Firewall maintains a distinct set of rules for both the cases. Mostly the outgoing traffic originated from the server itself allowed to pass. Still, setting a rule on outgoing traffic is always better in order to achieve more security and prevent unwanted communication. Incoming traffic is treated differently. Most traffic which reaches on the firewall is one of these three major transport layer protocols: TCP, UDP, or ICMP. And if you've been in cybersecurity at all, there's a lot of talk about those three. And I can't wait for us to talk about them, but we will not talk about them today because they go really deep in their information and it goes really wide. Okay. So let's read this sentences again so I can make sure I know what I said. Incoming traffic is treated differently. Most traffic which reaches on the firewall is one of these three major transport layer protocols: TCP, UDP, or ICMP. All these types have a source address and destination address. Also, TCP and UDP have port numbers. Those are the port numbers we're going to study soon. So we have many, many days of going live to study for stuff, right? All these types have a source address and destination address. Also, TCP and UDP have port numbers. ICMP uses type code instead of port number, which identifies purpose of that packet. Okay. All right. It seems like this stuff, I don't know. I'm posting these links on my Reddit page from now on. So when I go off from being, I just thought about like, what if I want to go back to this area, that I wanted to have some type of breadcrumbs organization that's public because I'm sharing my study notes with everyone else. But I wanted to be able to go back in case I need to do research. And some of this stuff in here, like I may not have agreed with that one statement where he was talking about what, people coming into your computer system of a business is a threat, when we know that we're going into people's businesses to purchase and to do some business with them. But I may not agree with that one statement, but a lot of this on here is superb. And I would like to have it as a reference for later on if I decided to write something. Okay. Let's go. Where did I stop at? Excuse me. Default policy. So TCP and UDP have port numbers, and ICMP uses type code instead of the port number, which identifies the purpose of the packet. Default policy. It is very difficult to explicitly cover every possible rule on the firewall. For this reason, the firewall must always have a default policy. Default policy only consists of action, accept, reject, or drop. And we talked about the drop is just says no and it ghosts the person. They don't say anything or no reason why. You just have denial of access and we don't even tell you you've been denied. You're just denied. Accept, come on through. Reject is whether the reason is real, whether the reason is perceived, whether we made up a general statement or it's real, you have been rejected, and here is the reason why. Suppose no rule is defined about SSH connection to the server on the firewall. Suppose no rule is defined about SSH connection to the server on the firewall. And some of these acronyms, they are in our booklet. I guess we could just actually go to the booklet and go down. I don't like to go all the way down. And I don't like to just call them all out. I do know what they are, but before I just start acting like I know everything, I'm just going to look up stuff, because we're all learning. And it's definitely, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to make you feel bad for learning, but you should never feel bad about learning. Never. Yeah. Learning is a privilege. We are privileged to learn, privileged to set aside time, privileged to be at this time and space on this earth at this very moment where we even have the internet and I can even study with another person. We're so privileged, okay? And I'm not going to feel bad for learning something, okay? I don't know everything. It's impossible. But we are going to try to memorize what this is. Saying all that, SSH is, and oh my God, all these S words. Let's see if I can do this. Secure shell. Sometimes my S's go funny. So SSH, they're giving us an example. Let's go back. Ooh, 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 ooh. We don't need that. Did I just get off my SSH? Oh no, I never did go into it. Okay. I guess I can actually look up SSH so that I can keep the little thing. I'm keeping my breadcrumbs. This is just an example they're giving us. So suppose no rule is defined about secure shell connection to the server on the firewall. That was hard. So it will follow the default policy. If default policy on the firewall is set to accept, then any computer outside of your office can establish an SSH connection to the server. Therefore, setting default policy as drop or reject is always a good practice. So I think that's kind of giving us the clue that if we are at a business, whether it is a huge enterprise company or a company of an entrepreneurship startup, and there's 3 people working and you're the administrator of the computers, you will never want to set up the policy for the default policy on a firewall to accept things. Is that what they're saying? So it will follow the default policy. It's set to accept it. Yeah, it's saying, yeah, don't do that. It's saying put the default policy as drop or reject. I would imagine drop would be a good one because you just ghost them. But ghosting is not always good etiquette, right? Okay. So rejection might be good because then you don't have people calling you up wondering what's going on. They know they've been rejected, whether the reasoning is a default reasoning or if it's bogus or real or not, or even perceived. Generation of firewall. Okay, so all of this was such good information. I mean, seriously, geeks for geeks, wonderful. You guys did a good job. Generation of firewall. Firewalls can be categorized based on its generation. So we learned before that ACLs predated firewalls. And the ACL is the something controllers, accelerated controllers. Access. Interesting. Access. Of course, it gives access. Oh, okay. Okay. Access controllers were predating firewall, right? And so now we're categorizing these firewalls based on its generation. I'm thinking generation means time, but let's find out. First generation is packet filtering firewall. Okay, packet filtering firewall is used to control network access by monitoring outgoing and incoming packets and allowing them to pass or stop based on source and destination IP address, protocols, and ports. It analyzes traffic at the transport protocol layer, but mainly uses first 3 layers. Okay. Packet firewalls treat each packet in isolation. And so here's why I feel like, okay, so I just want to make a small thing. Sometimes whenever there's a lot of information for me to digest, I have to relate it to real life in order for me to get it. And I have to stop for 1 second. This is a study session, and I wish you could, you could send me a message if you want to stop and go over something, and then I would have no problem with that. Okay, but let's see here. This is where I feel like Security Plus, Network Plus, and A Plus, that you're learning the same information. Because they are, in this A Plus, in this firewall website, they are not determining whether you are very versed and aware of the OSI model. They're just like, here it is. This is where it is on the OSI model. And to me, that's a little bit above just entry level learning about cybersecurity. So just in case you are so new to cybersecurity that you have no idea what I'm talking about with this OSI model and what they are referring to on the first 3 layers, I think we should look up right now while we're going over the generations timeline of firewalls, that we should just at least pull up one picture. Go to Google. Of the OSI model, just so that we could have an idea of what they're talking about. Because if I skip over this and someone is so super new and they're like, I don't know, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, I mean, it could literally just be like, I think this one's good. Let's see here. Ooh, this is good. It's really big. Let's go down some. Okay, this is an excellent, to me, this is a really good, excellent one. Now, this is another one of those items, and there's a lot of different items that the information goes very wide. There's a lot of information when it comes to the OSI model, and the OSI model goes so deep. So the information goes high and low, and very wide. And right now we are dead smack in the middle of just going through the OSI model. At some point, we can go wider just on the OSI model. And at some point we can go deeper into the OSI model. I would really like that. But if you didn't know anything about cybersecurity, here's the OSI model. And it starts off with the first, which is physical. And the physical layer is kind of like your actual computer sending out some type of signal in the form of bit to the data link layer. Okay. And so when they're talking about layers 1, 2, and 3 on this website, let's see here, but mainly uses first 3 layers. They are referring to 1, 2, and 3, the first 3 layers, which are the media layers, physical, data, and network layers, which is giving us bits, frames, and packets. And notice that up here, something that the firewall talked about was the ICMP, which was not on the same layer as TCP and UDP, which is right here. So I'm telling you, this stuff can go really deep. It can go really wide. It can go really big on a lot of this information. But I'm just going over this just a little bit briefly because they're referencing it. And if I didn't just kind of show the picture, and I am picture oriented when it comes to my learning, we're always trying to make sure that we're committing our knowledge to long-term memory. And sometimes you have to go over information multiple times, but we are we're just looking at pictures. I look at pictures and I learn things. So I also do a lot of reading too, but I like to look at pictures because it makes me have questions, and then I can read the words. Okay, let's go back. So now we are all up on the same level. Okay, and you can look up the OSI model. It'd be good to find out who made it up, where the heck did it come from, all that type of stuff that I like looking up of the information. But not today for us. We're just going to focus and stick to firewalls here. So packet firewalls treat each packet in isolation. They have no ability to tell whether a packet, and I think this is the ICMP, is part of an existing stream of traffic. Only it can allow or deny the packets based on unique packet headers. Packet filtering firewall maintains a filtering table, which decides whether the packet will be forwarded or discarded. From the given filtering table, the packets will be filtered according to the following rules: source IP, destination IP, source port. And these don't have ports because it's the ICMP. Doesn't work on any ports. Okay, because this is the packets. Destination port. These do have ports here. And the action is deny, 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 and allow. And I guess this is saying here, this rule is saying anything more than the destination port of 1023. Or if you want to say 1023, I don't know. Okay, and right now, this is a really good picture. And it also has something to do with threats. But we'll save that for another day too. Because, anyway, sample packet filter firewall rule. And so here is the words, it looks like, behind this picture. Incoming packet from network 192.168.21.0 are blocked. Here's denied. Incoming packets destined for internal telnet, that's 23 is the telnet port, server port 23, are blocked. We don't want anybody using telnet getting on our server. Absolutely not. Absolutely anybody from 192.168.21.0 are blocked. Probably because they've been deemed a bad guy. We're blocking all the bad guys. Anyway, I just made that up. Incoming packets destined for host 192.168.21.3 are blocked. That's probably a host that may or may not be where our server is. And anybody trying to get into our server, destined IP, they're blocked. Why are you trying to get in there? Blocked. And the fourth is all well-known services to the network 192.168.21.0 are allowed. Now, if for some reason I have misspoke or misinterpreted, please feel free to send me a message and correct me. Please feel free to let me know. I'm trying at the same time of reading this, trying to come up with real live examinations and understanding and basing them on something that I already know of new information that I'm learning. So I could be off, but I believe I'm on the right track. Okay, now we're going to go to the next kind, second generation stateful inspection firewall. Second generation. So I already talked about the first generation, second generation. Stateful firewalls performs stateful packet inspection are able to determine the connection state of packet, unlike packet filtering firewall, which makes it more efficient. Wow, that was a lot. Let's read that again. Stateful firewalls performs stateful packet inspection are able to determine the connection state of packet, unlike packet filtering firewall. Okay, which makes it more efficient. Okay, so this one's more efficient than the ICMP one firewall. It keeps track of the state of networks connected, traveling across it, such as TCP streams. So the filtering decisions would not only be based on defined rules, but also on packet histories in the state table. So it's keeping information, and it's saying not only am I keeping and I'm basing everything on whether you come and go through my firewall or come and are not allowed through my firewall, but I'm also keeping a history. Okay. So now, third generation application firewall. 3. Application layer firewall. And they're talking about this OSI model of an application layer firewall, which I presume is if someone's coming in to our network. I could be wrong. Application layer firewall can inspect and filter the packets on any OSI layer up to the application layer. It has the ability to block specific content. Also recognize when certain application and protocols like HTTP and FTP are being misused. In other words, application layer firewalls are hosts that run proxy servers. A proxy firewall prevents the direct connection between either side of the firewall. Each packet has to pass through the proxy. It can allow or block the traffic based on predefined rules. Note, application layer firewalls can also be used as network address translator, the NAT. Application layer firewalls can also be used as NAT, network address translator. That 3rd generation, wow. How many people have been blocked by a 3rd generation firewall? I know I have. I've tried to go on a lunch break one time, and I tried to go to probably one of those celebrity gossip websites and blocked. And I was friends with the IT folks, and so I was like, hey, is there any specific reason why my why my favorite website in the whole wide world is blocked and I can't get on it when I'm eating my salad at my desk for lunch so that I can work harder and not take a long lunch break, or even save myself from having to travel during lunchtime pre-COVID. And I'm sure they gave me a really good reason and probably laughed afterwards that I had the audacity to ask why my favorite gossip website was blocked, possibly because so many people go to those gossip websites that if I was to go to that gossip website and then the website has something that it's trying to send back to my server or reverse back to me because I went to them and they're like, oh, she came to us. We have a lot of people coming to us, so we're going to send something out to them so we can either know more about the people who visit us or sell them something or have some type of data or information to sell something to the people who visit our website, because we don't make money by people just coming to our website. We make money because we sell advertising because we have a lot of people coming to our website. Anyway, it gets really deep. And it was that application layer firewall that blocked my favorite website. Anyway, I won't be mad about it. It's all good. Looks like that's what blocked it when I was pre-COVID working. Okay, that's what blocked that website. Okay, so anyway, let's go to the next one. Next generation firewalls. Next generation, not 3rd, the next generation firewalls in GFW are being deployed these days to stop modern security breaches like advanced malware attacks and application layer attacks. Possibly what I just referred to. NGFW consists of deep packet inspection, application inspection, SSL, SSH inspection, and many functionalities to protect the network from these modern threats. Okay. So now we have types of firewall. So previously we talked about generations of firewalls. And now these are the two different types. So I'm not even going to tell you what I think, but type, generation, and I wonder can we remix, but anyway. Firewalls are generally two types, host-based and network-based. Host-based firewalls is installed on each network node, which controls each incoming and outgoing packet. It is a software application or suite of applications, comes as a part of the operating system. Host-based firewalls are needed because network firewalls cannot provide protection inside a trusted network. Host-based firewalls are needed because network firewalls cannot provide protection inside a trusted network. I'm going to read that one more time. Host-based firewalls are needed because network firewalls cannot provide protection inside a trusted network. Host firewall protects each host from attacks and unauthorized access. So there's host-based firewalls, and then they talk about this network firewall. And they already told us that network firewalls cannot provide protection inside a trusted network. Network-based firewalls is a network firewall function on the network level. In other words, when they're talking about the network level, they're talking about this right here. Okay, I think I drilled that home. In other words, these firewalls filter all incoming and outgoing traffic across the network. It protects the internal network by filtering the traffic using rules defined on the firewall. A network firewall might have two or more network interface cards. We talked about network interface cards, I think, 2 days ago. A network-based firewall is usually a dedicated system with proprietary software installed. Both types of firewall have their advantages, and that's where Geeks for Geeks leaves it. I'm sure we could go a lot wider, and we could probably go a lot deeper, but they reference 2 pages that we basically just literally pulled up. What is a firewall? And firewall for computing in Wikipedia. So we're just going to briefly look at these. We're going to go back to our Amazon and look at this. Oh, here's the LAN and the WAN output. Okay, 12 volts. Pretty standard. Huh. What would you need to listen for? That's interesting. We're just looking at this. Okay, because I don't need to buy it, I'm really not going to, I just want to see if this is different. They don't have none of those available. And this one, oh my God, did this just give my address? Okay. Lord. Anyway, it did not give my address, but it definitely gave my whereabouts, but I am scared. Okay, so $3.99 for that one, $3.59. Not too much of a difference. Wait a minute. Go to this one. Bitdefender. Okay. Okay, this is for IoT, but are they actually calling this a firewall? Is this actually a firewall? They're selling it like it's a firewall, but they're selling it with a switch. I'm thinking we have to go to Romania to ask this question and figure it out. It looks like it is a firewall. It's a firewall. It's a firewall for IoTs, I'm presuming. Okay. Only 15 left. 240. This is cheaper, but this is for IoTs. And it plugs into your smart devices like Alexa, Google Assistant, and other stuff, so you don't have any problems with that. Very smart, and it looks really pretty and sleek. Okay. Looks like a speaker. Best protection and performance in 2019. And it tells you how to do it. Okay. Kitchen, living room. No one has this though. You wouldn't have a place to eat. But anyway. Oh, I see the TV. So we put this stuff over here. Outside the bathroom, sink, office. Okay. There I go critiquing, huh? Network protection. That's what it looks like on your phone. Your home is safe. Protected traffic. Threats are blocked. You see that? Threats are blocked this week. I like that. Let's block. Okay. Okay, yeah, definitely a firewall. Where is the Bitdefender box? Oh, it's right here. Right here. That does look good, though, I have to say. Your whole place looks good. That looks so cozy. Okay. We get too caught up in this stuff here. Let's see, we got one more to look at, and we're going to go to the other two websites. Okay, so this Netgear one kind of looks like that. I just don't know. But anyway, here's some more. I think we already looked at these. Let's see if we have a today's deal. This is where I got all the other ones from. Whenever I shop on Amazon, I always want to know what kind of deal they can make me. So I press what's today's deal. And they have a high-speed wireless internet router with smart app for Mimu for the home. That looks pretty. And they have another one for $59. It's for gaming. Okay, $59 today. This is today's deals. Router, another router. What is this thing here? Rubber something. Wire protection. Firewall plug. Okay. I'm not briefed enough to know how to use these yet, but they're on sale today. And it looks like this Firewall compact small desktop is on sale for $260. Okay. I mean, you probably could get a software firewall for less, for sure. But, Okay. All right. And we talked about PoEs. Okay. And wireless desktop access point. Okay. Okay, so this is basically what's all on sale today that they're saying is on sale. The router and these little pucks. Again, I have no idea what these pucks are for. Feel free if anyone wants to tell me anything about pucks. That is done. Now we're just going to go through Wikipedia fast because what I like to do, and we have two more. We have Norton and Cisco, of course. They sell the equipment, so of course, okay. I'm going to do X. Photograph this stuff. Sorry, help Wikipedia. That seems awesome. I am a Wikipedia editor, so I have my screen may look a little different because I can actually log in and do things on different teams if I shall want. Okay, we're going to bypass all of this and go here. In computing, a firewall is a network security system that monitors and controls incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. A firewall typically establishes a barrier between a trusted network and an untrusted network, such as the internet or a LAN and a WAN. Just saying. The term firewall originally referred to a wall intended to confine a fire within a line of adjacent buildings. Oh, it's actually a firewall. Later, uses refer to similar structures, such as the metal sheet separating the engine compartment of a vehicle or aircraft from the passenger compartment. The term was applied in the late 1980s to network technology. Okay. Just for firewalls and internet security repelling a wily hacker. That should be an interesting article. That emerged when the internet was fairly new in terms of its global use and connectivity. The predecessors to firewalls for network security were routers used in the late 1980s, using the ACLs. We just learned about that. Because they already segregated networks, routers could apply filtering to packets crossing them. Before it was used in real-life computing, the term appeared in the 1983 computer hacking movie War Games and possibly inspired its later use. A movie inspired technology, and it was not even invented in the movie. What is that? What they saying that the movie inspired real life, and that we all of a sudden needed a firewall, and we made one. Somebody made one. That's interesting. Let's see here. 10 times 80s sci-fi movies predicted the future. Now that is a wonderful article, right? Yeah. Very interesting. Firewalls are categorized as a network-based or a host-based system. Network-based firewalls can be positioned anywhere within a LAN or WAN, local area network. Oh, look at that. Or wide area network. They are either a software appliance running on general purpose hardware, a hardware appliance running on special purpose hardware, or a virtual appliance running on a virtual host controlled by a hypervisor. Firewall applications may also offer non-firewall functionality, such as DHCP or VPN. And DHCP is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Okay. VPN is a virtual private network. Okay. So the firewalls also work with DHCP and VPN other than having those rules to block, approve, or ghost. Host-based firewalls are deployed directly on the host itself to control network traffic or other computing resources. This can be a daemon or service. Okay. Yep. I think this was Linux or something. Daemon Linux. What is this? A multitasking computer operating systems. A daemon is a computer program that runs as a background processes rather than being under the direct control of an interactive user. Traditionally, the process name of a daemon and with the letter D for clarification that the process is in fact a daemon. Okay. As part of an operating system or agent application for protection. Okay. Packet filter. The first reported type of network firewall is called a packet filter, which inspects packets transferred between computers. The firewall maintains an access control list, which dictates which packets will be looked at and which actions should be applied, if any, with the default action set to silent discard. Discard. 3 basic actions regarding the packet consist of a silent discard with Internet Control Message Protocol, ICMP, or TCP reset, responds to the sender, and forward to the next hop. Packets may be filtered by source and destination IP addresses, protocol, sources, and destination ports. This is a lot of stuff here. The bulk of internet communication in early 21st century used either TCP or UDP. In conjunction with well-known ports, enabling firewalls of that era to distinguish between specific types of traffic, such as web browsing, remote printing, email transmission, and file transfers. Excuse me. The first paper published on firewall technology was in 1987 when engineers from Digital Equipment Corp, or DEC, I don't know which one, guys. I don't know. You 80s guys. I haven't met an 80s guys that I don't like. Let's see here. I'm just messing, guys. Okay. My husband was born in the 80s. Okay. When engineers from DEC developed filter systems known as packet filter firewalls at AT&T Bell Labs. So now we have a third laboratory, Xerox Labs. We found out they built Ethernet. Bell Labs built all the connectors for the Ethernet cable and different copper cable and a whole bunch of other connectors and the stuff that goes in to even make the connectors. And now we have the AT&T Bell Labs developed firewalls, or I should say they had the first paper published, and it was probably I'm just thinking it was based off of research. It was based off of their laboratory research that they developed and published this paper on firewall technology. That was inspired by a movie. I have to figure that one out. I've got to relook at that movie to see what's going on. Okay. They continued their research in packet filtering and developed a working model for their own company based on their original first generation architecture. And this was Mr. Phil Cheswick and Steve Belevin. I hope I didn't butcher their names. I apologize if I did. So connection tracking, and there's this big, huge picture that we should probably definitely get into. Oh, let's do it. Look at this. So it is a really interesting. I think we should just go over this another time. I might get lost in this picture. But we've got what is this? Application, protocol, network, link, and it looks like they skipped some layers. Like that's what this great thing right here, because we've got, where is it? Application, presentation, data link, just like they do. Application, protocol, network. Is that what they had? Application. They had protocol. Application. Okay. Application and then network. And the protocol, I think, is transport layer. I think, let's see here. Protocols is this. Yep, transport layer. Okay, so they went from 7 to 4 to 3, and they skipped these two for a reason, another. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. I'm telling you, we could go really deep and wide with this. And I just want to go, let's see here. Ooh, this is a nice little informational picture that they developed. This is so neat. Mm-hmm. There's Nat, N-A-T. Okay. Wow. I guess we could follow the arrows. I'm not following the arrows. I'm going the opposite way. And then at the top, it's got input, forward, output. Very interesting. And we should go back because take us all the way to the top. Okay. So that was connection tracking. And again, in AT&T Bell Laboratories. This time with some different people. The second generation of firewalls, calling them circuit level gateways. Wow. Okay. Oh, this just totally goes. I think we're going to have a whole nother day of firewalls. I think we're just going to have to just put a pause. And we have a lot to go through. We have this picture, and then we have Norton. What is a firewall? And I know that they're probably going to say some repeatable information, but I know we just talked about the people who started firewalls, but here's someone who makes them, and they may have a lot more information. And so I don't want to become exhausted at their new information. And again, the same thing with Cisco, because they make firewalls. And so we don't want to, I really do not want to be exhausted when I go through. Here's next generation firewall. I don't want to be exhausted when I go through the firewall information for people who make it. I want to give them the respect that's owed and truly understand what their firewalls and why their firewalls are the best and why they're so helpful to students like myself trying to learn about firewalls. What's it all about? So I'm going to say thank you so much for studying with me. And I'm trying to go live every day. I did not go live yesterday because I was extremely tired. I have been not only anyway, I have no excuse for being tired. I'm human. But I will be back tomorrow and we can go over firewalls some more. I will have these websites posted in my Reddit. I have a CyberSMAC Reddit page that I have. Actually, I started a community and I have a page of CyberSMAC and Reddit. And I'm going to post these websites, the Cisco, the Norton, the Wikipedia. I mean, I really don't have to, but it's just giving me a footprint for me to go back to, for me to pull up, for me to research. In case I ever want to write a paper on firewalls, I say I've got at least, a couple websites. We did look up some Amazon equipment. We did look up Amazon equipment. And I probably should put up some pictures of firewalls, but Amazon changes every day, and all you have to do is just look up the equipment. So I won't save it, even though now that I'm thinking about this, if I was to become this big, huge cybersecurity person, so super busy that I don't even look up look up firewalls and Amazon for a long time, and then I want to then go back in time and look to see what the firewalls look like. Is it worth me keeping a picture of it? I don't know. It's a digital question. It's a digital imprint question of, is it worth me keeping or not? This website, Geek for Geeks, was an excellent website. They really set the standard. There was only one sentence I had a problem with, but that was so minor. And it's just because I have a really high threshold of sensitivity when it comes to that sentence. So everything else was super on point. I really loved how they laid everything out. I do understand that they have places to go for wider information of fireworks information. And I do understand how you can go deeper with the knowledge, but they just laid out. This was an excellent, and it does say it's medium level, it's not beginner. So that's why I'm so glad we did look up the OSI model. We looked up WAN and LAN, and we looked up SSH, so that we could make sure that as we're going by and they're using acronyms, we are picking up and understanding what the heck these acronyms are talking about and what they're meaning behind it, because it's just super important to be on the same page. It's like a encrypted conversation. If you don't have the key, then you won't know what the heck they're talking about if you're not included into the privied information. Anyway, it's getting late and I'm going to go. I will be back tomorrow. Please follow, please like. I do not have all my my social media places together all the way. I'm working on that as I'm also studying and working and doing my home chores, I guess you can call it, dishes and laundry, hair. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for studying with me. I hope to see you tomorrow, and I wish I could give you a time frame, but please subscribe so that you'll know when it is I'm going to be live. And I try to give I try to go live and then give a 10-minute spiel of who I am and why CyberSMAC is so important for the world and what I'm doing, which is basically studying this information with other people. And I'm studying this for the purpose for me to pass A+, then pass Network Plus, then pass Security Plus. I am purposeful with my learning. So if you'd like to join me on this journey, which will be fun, and I do encourage your interaction. You can comment, you can whatever you like. I really appreciate it. All right. And again, we're privileged to be on this earth and be able to study together no matter where you are in the world. All right. Thank you. Have a good night.